All right, it's the boy, Comedian Edwin Douglas, and you are on your Mike and Soul Radio Talk Show. That's right. We always will be on demand, such as iheart-radio, Spotify, Spreaker, and of course across the social media, including Apple Podcasts as well. We have a very great episode tonight, tomorrow, and always, forever on demand. Before we bring in our guest, let me bring in my DJ sidekick, Uncle Ben. And we welcome back our co-host, special guest co-host. You heard him last week, and he used to be the co-host on the show, and he's back. We're trying to get him to come back to work right here, and he's the one and only, the Boudin Man. How you doing, Boudin?
Doing wonderful. Glad to be on the show again tonight.
All right. And ladies and gentlemen, ladies, fellas, all the way from Austin, Texas. That's right, on I-35 with University of Texas. Y'all did see them in the NCAA tournament this year, 2021. Yes, I grabbed someone out of Austin, Texas. He is a singer, a songwriter. Please welcome to your Mike and Soul Radio Talk Show, the one and only Mr. John McDonough. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, great. How are y'all? Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. I did my homework on you, and you're pretty classy, and I like the what I call the believer in the songwriting and as a singer. But before we get into the deep into the interview, tell us, or tell all of us, what made you want to become a singer and a songwriter?
Well, that's a great question. You know, like so many artistic people, I think I was born with something that made me want to do it, because I always loved to sing. I always tell the story that when I was a kid, I would, crank the stereo in my room and sing along at the top of my lungs and pretend I was on stage. And I just always loved to sing. And then about 12 or 13, I started taking guitar lessons because I wanted to actually be able to play some of the songs that I was singing along to. And that's how I got into it. I didn't really start performing till I was in my 20s. I was a big tennis player in high school, and that really was my focus. But in college, I started really concentrating on music and started performing, and I really enjoyed it. I'd get terribly nervous, and I would, I had a bit of stage fright when I started, but at the same time, I really liked being on stage, and knew it was something that I wanted to continue and get better at.
So where did you go to college at?
I went to Clemson in South Carolina.
Get out of here, man. That's where my family roots from. You got Clemson. Oh, guys, you're talking about a wonderful football program in Clemson, South Carolina. And then, matter of fact, the girls South Carolina Gamecock is in the Final Four. Yes, today, this weekend. Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Right.
But my family root is from Allendale, Fairfax County, which that's like an hour from Columbia. And you got Charleston on the coast. So man, when I hear South Carolina, oh man, we got a show tonight. Oh yes, yes,
Wait,
South Carolina in the house.
Are you from South Carolina?
My family roots, my blood is from there. My mom and dad from South Carolina. Our family, both sides of the family from South Carolina. My mom and dad, they been dated and been known each other since they was in the 7th grade.
Wow.
With my mom, it's 16 of them. So Yeah, when I hear South Carolina, man, we talking about, matter of fact, we can go straight down I-20, go right through Columbia, okay? And then we can cut over and go anywhere from the 77. I mean, any road. I'm familiar with it.
That's right. And Charleston is beautiful. Oh, my gosh, what a place. Charleston is just an incredible place to go visit if you ever get the chance.
You talking about Charleston? How about Fowler Beach, my friend? You go to Fowler Beach.
That's good too.
Hey, Boudin, if you ever get a chance to go to Fowler Beach, you go through Charleston, then North Charleston, and then what is that? St. James? Jamestown, and then you are in Fowler Beach. Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, yes, sir.
Let's
yes.
check it out one day.
Yes, sir. So, with that being said, at Clemson, you said you played tennis. Did you complete 4 years playing tennis there, or did you play tennis at Clemson?
I did. I played for a couple years, and then I stopped. And music was a big part of the reason why I stopped, because I sort of realized I saw the limit of my potential in tennis, and I had big aspirations to go pro, and I realized I wasn't good enough, and I wasn't going to be able to do that successfully. And, I don't know how much you know about college sports, but college sports at a big program like that, it's almost like a full-time job.
Yes.
Between going to classes and doing your sport, there's no time really left over.
No,
so
that's it.
And so when I realized sort of that I wasn't going to go past where I was, then I started thinking I wanted to start spending time doing some other things, and music was one of them. So I stopped playing after 2 years, and then that's when I really started focusing on music.
Okay.
And yeah.
Okay, great. Speaking of music, who inspired you that you really pay very close attention to? Like, for an example, by me being a comedian, I watch a lot of the guys, but Steve Harvey is the one who I follow. Who are you following that you just wish you could have the opportunity to perform with?
Oh, boy, that's such a good question. There's so many. It's so hard to just pick one. But it comes down to two pretty quickly, actually. When I grew up, James Taylor was on one of the top guys on my list. I mean, I would listen to him and just wear his albums out, and he played Fire and Rain by him is why I wanted to learn the guitar. I want to be able to play and sing this song. And I just think he's just a fantastic songwriter. But I also find him very engaging and funny and smart. And I would really like to I would love to spend some time with him. And the other one is for all the same reasons as Billy Joel. I've been a big Billy Joel fan forever. I also, I just think he seems very funny and smart and engaging, and I would love to spend some time with him as well. So those are always sort of my first two choices.
Okay, very good. So let's rewind. Let's go backwards before college, before high school. When you was, let's say in junior high, maybe 7th grade, what was your favorite thing that you loved to do in the 7th grade?
Oh, my gosh, we're going back so far. I have to think hard here. You're making me think hard. 7th grade was a long time ago, which is not a bad thing, to be honest. I'm very happy to be well past those years, let me tell you. But in 7th grade, I would probably say I was in 7th grade. I was living in Montgomery, Alabama, and we were members at a very nice country club. And again, tennis was just a huge part of my life. And so that was probably my favorite thing, was to go to this club and play tennis. I would go there and just spend all day and play tennis, eat lunch, hang out, play more tennis, and ride my bike to and from so I could stay there as long as I wanted. And so that was probably one of my favorite things to do in 7th grade.
Wow. I mean, you're bringing memories back, that key word. You're in the 7th grade, 6th grade, 5th grade, 4th grade. Wherever you were, you could play all day long. Boudin, did you guys do that, Boudin, when you was a kid?
Yeah, sure did.
But I bet you, each one of us, wherever you was, all day, you better be back home for that street light come on. John, did
That's right.
That's right.
And I heard you said, John, you had your bike and your tennis racket. Boy, I bet you were hitting that road. I bet you were turning that bicycle up trying to get home for that street light came on. You know, and I think we all have gone through that. Yes. Boudin, anything you want to ask him, Boudin?
Well, what all kind of music you play and what all kind of songs you write?
I always call myself a singer-songwriter, and I've been called different things, and like some people have described me as indie folk, and some people have described me as pop, like so many people today, it's sort of hard to put me right in a box. But I would say, if I really have to define myself as something, I always say singer-songwriter. I play the acoustic guitar, and my words are very important to me, and so that's really what I do. And I grew up listening to people like Harry Chapin and James Taylor and John Denver, and those were really my inspirations. I think of myself as a little bit more edgy than they are. I maybe a little bit more energy in my songs, but still definitely a singer-songwriter at heart.
Okay.
And I like to write songs. I like to write a lot about history, actually. I always joke that my life is pretty boring, but in a good way. Like there's, not too much drama. And so... And I always say I can only write so many songs about love or the lack of love. That only goes so far. So then I watch documentaries a lot, and I read books constantly, and I find a lot of inspiration for songs based on those things. Someone else's story that really moves me will often inspire me to write a song about that. And that's like I said, where I get so much of my motivation, because my life. Like for example, I have a song about World War II, Jewish World War II pilots who fought in World War II and came back home, and all they wanted to do was fly, and no one would hire them because they were Jewish, and they went back and fought 3 years later for the new state of Israel. And, it's just an incredible story, an incredible man. And obviously it's an experience I would never come close to having, so, but to be able to sort of read it and learn from it and then write a song about it, it's, that's how I like to express myself.
Okay. Go ahead, Buddha, get another one.
How come you decide to make Austin your home?
Well, this is a two-part answer. So it was about 26 years ago, I was living in Illinois, where my whole family lives. I didn't grow up in Illinois. I moved here halfway through my junior year in high school, and I never really grew to like it. So I left right away. But my family has stayed here ever since. And I went off to college in the South, as you know, and lived in some other places, and I wanted to find a place that I could really plant my roots and stick around for a while. And I narrowed it down to Austin and Boulder, Colorado. And Austin had everything for me. It had the university was there. It was a big enough town. The water was there. The weather was good. The music scene was amazing. It had everything I needed or wanted. And I knew I could grow there. And so I ended up moving to Austin. I didn't know anyone there. And it was great. But about 5 months ago, so I lived in Austin for 25 years. And 5 months ago, I did something I said I would never do, and I moved back to the Midwest.
Wow.
And so so I am currently living outside of Chicago. And I survived my first winter.
Okay.
And here I am, yes. So, and I'll tell you why. I was feeling a little itchy in Texas after 25 years. I was ready for a change. And I started feeling like I've been touring a lot the last few years. And I started feeling like I think that my music would go over much better on the East Coast. And as you know, well, wait, Boudin, I don't know where you're located.
I'm in Dallas.
You're okay. So but y'all know how Texas is. It takes me 6 hours just to get out of Texas.
Yeah. Right.
No.
I mean, so when I go to play gigs, and I mean, when I go on tour, it would take me literally like 6 or 7 hours just to get out of Texas on my way to where I was going. And so I just decided. I thought I've played a lot around here where I am now because my family lives up here, and I know like there's lots of good places around here that's good for my music. And I'm an easy one-day drive to the East Coast where I want to tour. And my whole family's still in the area. And so I ended up moving back here. And so far, so good, luckily.
Well, Austin, Texas, I lived there for 6 months. And I can relate to what you're saying. And at that time, I wasn't in the entertainment business. I was married. I was driving back and forth from Dallas to Austin, and I was trying to find myself, what exactly I wanted to do. But I'll tell you one thing, anyone who's listening, for those who are listening, if you ever go to Austin, Texas, go down to 6th Street. That's where the happenings are, okay? If you hear John speak, and John, I'm sure you have played at any event venue on 6th Street, have you?
Oh, yes, many times. Yes.
Yes. And believe it or not, when big things are going on, everyone, especially the Southwest, what is that, that come down to Austin every year, and a lot of music.
The South by Southwest, the big festival that runs for 2 weeks.
Yes. And I encourage everyone, if you are in the music and other platforms available, when the pandemic is over, take a shot at it. For those that are trying to find their craft, their gift, to be noticed, to be heard, to be seen, or to go down and learn. Because I think it's a wonderful thing what they do every year, especially for those who's in the music business,
Yes. And I will say, Austin is a great place, and I have obviously I loved it. I was there for 25 years and have great memories. But Austin has changed a lot in the last 5 years, I would say. Austin has it's grown a lot. It's become a big city for high-tech industry, and it's not what it was, 20 years ago. When it was really music town. I feel like it's lost a little bit of its charm. It's lost a little bit of its music base, and it's just because it's grown. It's become so popular for everyone,
Every time.
Yeah, so it's still a great place, and I still encourage everyone to go check it out. It's just, like I said, it's not the same as it was when I moved there, and I was just ready for a change. Yeah.
Okay. Uncle Ben, Mr. John, this is Uncle Ben.
So don't hold it against me that I don't live there anymore.
Uncle Ben, John, I heard you like to play a guitar. Yes, sir. In your life experience or experiment, while you're performing, have any women ever thrown any panties on the stage while you're performing? Uncle Ben.
I'm being tough, boy.
No. I am very, very sad to tell you that no, I have not had that experience yet. And I think that would be a first for a singer-songwriter like myself to have a woman throw her panties at me, a middle-aged singer-songwriter. But hey, I would love it, and I would not turn it. I would love it if it happened.
Well, I can relate to what he's asking because we watch a lot of videos, man, and a lot of artists. You would think that may happen to him at least one time in a lifetime, and so I'm a comedian. If anybody throw anything at a comedian because you ain't funny, they probably throw a bottle or a rock. So we don't get that opportunity that, music artists get, I mean, you're good, there's a possibility they coming after you on the stage. They yelling, they screaming. Comedians, we don't get that. You better be raw funny. If not, something else gonna get thrown at you.
That is right, man. I am not envious of you or comedians because that is a rough job. And like you said, there's sort of no middle ground. Either you are really good and the crowd loves you, or you're not that good and you're in for a long you're in for a long night.
Yes. And not on a long night, you're talking about a long, even the stage not that far away, but it seems like it's a long walk to get off that stage when you had a bad night. It's like a long walk of embarrassment. Ooh, I'm gonna walk real fast. They looking at me. They don't like me. Ooh, I'm glad I'm behind the curtain.
Like I said, I think being a comedian is rough. There's just no middle ground. You can go out and hear a musician and be like, yeah, they're okay. They're not great, but they're not bad. They're fine. Yeah. You don't find many comedians that are sort of middle ground like that. Like I said, it's either they're really good or they're not good at all. It seems like.
Well, now I've never been booed, but my rule is I've been doing it ever since 1998, and maybe 3 times in a lifetime, I cut it off short, and each time that happened to me, I have to remind myself these materials wasn't for that audience. So you have to find your market. And so I've learned and got better and better as I start growing. And so now what I do, I make sure, like if I go to Tennessee, I need to find out what's going on in Tennessee, then add the material what I brought with me. So I learn how to see what's going on locally or in California, if I'm in California, So I go to the mall and I add that introduction so therefore that we can relate. I can relate to them. They're relating to me because I'm talking about something that they are already aware of, to make them laugh. Yes. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
But I am sorry to say that I have never had panties thrown at me, so. From a man or a woman. So I got nothing there.
Since we all are laughing, we're not at the bottom at the hour. And I got a surprise for everyone who's listening. And then hang on, John, hang on, Boudin, and Uncle Ben. We all going to get an opportunity to get our laugh on. So hang on.
It's pretty easy these days to feel disconnected. We're pulled in so many different directions, and that can leave us feeling incredibly fragmented. But together, we can grow more connected to ourselves and to each other. And that is what my new podcast is all about, coming home to our wholeness. Listen and follow Holy Human with me, Leanne Rhymes, on the iHeart-Radio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Do you like fresh out of the oven chocolate chip cookies? Do you love wholesome heteronormative lifestyles? Do you like pretending that menstrual cycles just don't exist? Then you'll hate Tampon Rock. Tampon Rock is a scripted comedy podcast, kind of like Friends, except gay and with black people. So actually, really not like Friends.
Right. But it is about Friends.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a musical, sort of. But that's all the time we have, so.
Listen and follow Tampon Rock on the iHeart-Radio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Coming up at the top of the hour, right about 4 minutes after, you're not going to believe my strawberry letter for today. The subject is, you can't have your cake and eat it too, but wait till you hear it. Right now, though, the nephew's in the building with today's prank phone call. What you got for us, Neff?
I want to date your mom.
Oh, see, right there.
I want to date your mom.
Steve, how would you do it again, please?
Today's prank is, I want to date your mother.
See?
That's it? Ain't nothing in there. Put some prank on that. Put something on that.
Yeah, I can't tell you how to prank because obviously you're the king of it, but I was just talking about the introductions could use a lot of words.
We got to put some more flavor on that.
Now, see, the flavor's in this prank.
Yeah, but put some seasoning on that intro, though.
Yeah, see, that's where you and I differ. And so, once again, just do what you want to do.
All right. I'm sorry, I can't. I want to date your mom. Well, do you?
Ooh. Hello? Hello, I'm trying to reach Miss Burns. This is James. This is her son. How you doing, man? My name is Gordon. I just recently joined the church, man, within the last month, and I was trying to get in touch with Miss Burns. One of the members gave me a number, but I guess they must have gave me the wrong number, I guess. Is this a home number, or what is this? Hold up. Who is this again? My name is Gordon. I'm a new member at the church. Yeah. Is this your number? Yeah, man, this is my phone number. I'm James. I'm her son. Oh, that's your mom. Okay, that's your mother. Right. All right. Well, yeah, my bad, man. I was trying to get in touch with Miss Burns. Now, do you have a cell or a home number somewhere I can get in touch with Miss Burns? Wait, tell me. Your name is what? Gordon. I just joined the church, man, so I might not have met you yet, James. Okay. Well, God bless you, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Is there any way I could get your mom's home number from you? You just joined the church. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to talk to her. Is there a message I can pass on to her, though? Well, yeah. I'm trying to see if it's all right for me to take her out. I've been seeing her for the last. Hold up. Tell me that you were just saying that you were a new member to the church, and somebody gave you, or they were attempting to give you my mother's number, and you're asking me if you could take her out, man? Well, I wasn't asking you. I thought I had her phone number. I guess they gave you your number by mistake. That's my reason for calling. I thought I was going to get her. I wanted to take her out, maybe to dinner or something. Well, I'll be quite honest, man. I just came back home from overseas from fighting and everything, man. And, my pops just passed away not too long ago, and I ain't too keen on my mama going out with somebody. And besides, you don't even sound like you her age. She in her 60s, man. How old are you, man? I'm 36. Get the hell out of here. You how old, man? I'm 36. I'm 34. What the is you doing? You do realize my mom is pushing 60, right? Well, you know what, man? I look at it like James, right? James, I look at it like it's, age ain't nothing but a number, man. It's what's in your heart, man, and how you carry yourself, Yeah, but so my mom, but my mom ain't no cougar like that, and I know she ain't coming after you. I remember her telling me that she tried some new things at this church, but going out with some that's 30, how old are you? You a baby, man. I'm 36, dude. Man, you like my brother or something, man. Ain't nowhere in the world my mama gonna be dating. Okay, James. So let me say this, man. First of all, I didn't even know I was calling you. Second
second of all, I'm calling to speak with her. I'm not calling trying to get permission from you. Miss Burns is a grown woman. Miss Burns can decide.
Whoa. Time out. Now, I don't think you heard me, man. I just came back from fighting overseas. My pops passed away not too long ago. I am the man of the house. Let's get that straight right now. All right? I don't care if I'm still living at home or not. I'm the man of this house. All right? You calling to ask my mama on a date? Yeah, you might as well just stick to church, dog, because, you know, as I said, be blessed. But it ain't going to be no blessing from me to you. I tell you that right now.
Okay, I'm not looking for a blessing from you at all, brother.
You might want to look for a blessing.
And I respect the fact that you've been overseas and you've been fighting for this country, okay? But if I decide I want to speak to Miss Burns about going out, I think Miss Burns has every right to decide if she would like to go out with Gordon or not. And Gordon wants to take her out. I do.
Hold up. Look, bro, I don't care how old you say you are, all right? Number one, you're too young, as I already mentioned, all right? This ain't going down with you and my mama. Straight up.
Hey, man, that's for your mama to decide.
No. You bringing up my mama, you letting the word your mama come out your mouth again, that's going to get you up, all right? I don't know where you from. I don't give how old you are. I'm 36, man. I know what church my mama go to, and it ain't going to be her and you. You ain't going to be asking her out, all right? I don't give what it takes. I would show up on Sunday, catch up in the pulpit or wherever you want to be sitting, in the back, in the choir. It don't matter. Something is going down. You are not going to get with my mama like that. You got that?
That's up for your mama to decide. If your mama want to go out with me to have dinner, ain't nothing wrong with that, man.
I'm deciding it right now. It ain't going to happen. I told you before. Be blessed or get your whoop. You got two choices, right? I didn't fight overseas 3 years to come back and also deal with my daddy dying and then come back. Now I'm suffering from PSD, dog. I don't know what the I'm going to do unless you want to get it like that.
You suffer from what?
A PSD, post-traumatic stress syndrome, and I will release all that on you. Got that? I don't
Hey, man, listen, I don't want no trouble.
It don't matter to me. You can catch it.
Okay, look, man, listen. I ain't trying to have no trouble out you, man. All I'm going to say is this right here. I'll talk to your mom on Sunday, okay?
You ain't going to talk to my mom. Are you not hearing me, man?
Okay.
I'm going crazy right now.
Okay, can I say this? Can I say one more thing to you, man, before you explode?
You ain't got nothing else to say.
I got one more thing before you explode, man. Is you listening?
Yeah, man.
James?
What?
Hey, man, I want to tell you this, man. This is Nephew Tommy from the Steve Harvey Morning Show. Your mama got me to prank phone call you.
Get the out of here. Is this who?
Hey, man, this is Nephew Tommy from the Steve Harvey Morning Show, man. Your mama told me, she said, my son been overseas, he been fighting. I'm glad to have him home. She said, we got to get him back in the spirit of laughter.
My mama, are you kidding me, man?
We got you good.
We listen to this show overseas, man.
First of all, I got to say thank you for fighting for this country. I want to ask you one more thing. What is the baddest, and I mean the baddest, radio show in the land?
Man, nothing but the Steve Harvey Morning Show. Get it?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're on your Mike and Soul Radio Talk Show. Now, Boudin and John, can a 30-something-year-old take your mama out to dinner?
That dog wouldn't hunt. That dog can't hunt. That dog got shot, bro.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I can tell you, my mom was a lot older than that individual's mom, and if some 30-year-old wanted to take her out, I don't know what I'd say at this point. I might say, Mom, knock yourself out. I don't know how much longer you've got.
Oh my goodness.
Go have a good time. I don't know what I'd say.
Wow.
That's deep.
Ladies and gentlemen, you just now been just tuned in. You're on your Mike and Soul Radio Talk Show with my DJ sidekick, Uncle Ben, with my special co-host, the Boudin Man, and special guest of the show. You're listening to the one and only singer-songwriter, John McDonough. Yes. Now we're at the second half of the show. John, during this pandemic, as you know and I know, it took a lot away from entertainers. And last year up to today, what are some of the things that you have been doing to keep yourself busy?
Yeah, that is, it's so true. But I have to say, I hate to say this because I don't want to sound insensitive to all the people that struggled so hardly during this time, and I have too. But in a certain way, I took advantage of this time, and it worked well for me. As you know, when you're busy and playing gigs and touring and doing all this stuff, there's just not a lot of time to sit and just work on your craft. That's how I feel. You spend so much time performing, and so this was the first time I felt like in years that I was able to actually just sort of relax and not have any commitments and really just sort of work on my craft of being a guitar player and a singer and a songwriter. And for 6 months, that's what I did. And I reworked a lot of songs, and I improved a lot, and I loved it. And I actually, then the second half of this year of a pandemic, I fulfilled one of my goals, which I've wanted to do for a long time, which was I just recorded an acoustic CD of some of my older songs. And I'm just so excited with the way it came out, and I'm so excited to be sharing it with people. It just came out on March 17th. And a lot of the reason I felt comfortable and confident enough to go in and do an acoustic CD was because I was able to spend 6 months just practicing the guitar and reworking these songs and really perfecting them and coming up with some new arrangements that I thought were more interesting and more engaging. And so that's how I spent the year. And like I said, I spent about 6 months just working on my craft. I spent a few months making the CD, and then I spent a few months moving to Illinois. And now I'm ready to get out there and play live again. Now I'm really feeling it.
We all are ready to get back live. I had an opportunity to perform 2 virtual performances during the pandemic. The first one, and then also Boudin too. Boudin also a comedian as well. We both had an opportunity to perform virtual, and we was trying to do something with another fellow in the technology, but I learned a lot. It's all about being creative, and the virtual is here to stay. It's not going anywhere, especially for comedians and musicians and bands, because a lot of venues are going to be closed. And so we have to find out how can we create monetization for the gift that we love to do, okay? And so I took the time out to write a book. I released my book during the pandemic. I also did a lot of writing during the pandemic, a whole new album, a whole new material, and I can't wait to get back out there either, where it allowed me to study film, okay? So I've studied a lot of things that I didn't have a chance to do before the pandemic, and I'm excited about it, and I'm ready. Me saying all that, did you write any music or a project from the pandemic? Did you see anything that made you write a song, John, for about the pandemic?
Not really about the pandemic. It was I did work on some new material during that time for sure. But mostly I would say a lot of it was going back and just sort of working on reworking older songs, learning some new cover songs, and learning new techniques on the guitar, trying to expand my abilities on my instrument.
Okay.
But no real song specifically about the pandemic. Maybe that will come, but no, not yet.
Okay. I like to ask all my guests on the show, before I would call it your Mike and Soul radio talk show, what is in the business, since you've been a songwriter and a singer, what are some of the trials and tribulations that you may have gone through to make you a better singer and a songwriter?
That's a good question, and I'm sure, like you have been, there's been a lot of them. We did not pick easy careers here, did we?
Mm-hmm.
No. The rewards are great, but it's not easy. I have to say a couple things, but I have played a lot of gigs in my time where I was in a bar or a restaurant, and where people are eating and drinking and talking and having a good time and not really paying attention. And that's been a hard thing that I've had to sort of deal with and overcome, because in my youth, that would bother me a lot. I would feel like, what's the point? Why am I up here performing and trying to do a good job when I'm really just background music? And, that it happens less now, but it still happens. But I've just gotten a lot better at dealing with it. And I try to keep a positive attitude about it. And so that's been, I would say, one of the major sort of trials and tribulations of doing what I do. And the other thing is, like I said, I've been touring a lot the last few years. I bought a small RV, and I've been all over the country, and it's great for the most part. It's great. I've had a good time, and I really like getting out and being in new places and playing to new people. There have been a couple times when I've driven a few hours and showed up in a town in Kansas, for example, and to play a gig, and the establishment tells me that they're having poker night, for example, one time. And we're having poker night till 10:30, and you can play after that if you'd like. And and so those are moments when it's easy to sort of get down too, because like I said, I'm out there by myself. It's a lot of time and effort and energy to get to a place, and then to deal with unprofessional people, that can get very hard and discouraging. So those are a couple of the trials and tribulations that make it, that can be tough.
Okay. Boudin, go ahead and get a couple of questions.
Okay, you say you got your mobile home and you're doing a lot of traveling. Now,
yes.
I've asked you, since the CD, the disc is gone, how do you make your money now off your music?
Yeah. Mostly from playing live, and hopefully selling tickets or venues paying me. That's how musicians make their money these days, and it's not easy, but that's the way it is. I will say, I sell more CDs at live gigs than I do any other time, because I think people they get caught up, they get to know you a little bit, they're enjoying the music, and they want to take something home from that experience. And so, people don't buy CDs anymore, as you know. They don't go to a store and buy a CD, or even buy CDs online anymore. But people will buy a CD when it's face to face and they're live with you. And so I make some money that way, and I make some money, selling T-shirts and doing other things.
Very good.
And people are generous. People will leave nice big tips. If it's not a gig where people pay to show, pay it. Say I'm paying in a bar or something. People are just there. People can be very generous and leave very nice tips, and I always obviously really appreciate that. And then usually if someone does that, I will give them a CD. I'll say, please take this as a thank you. So that's how, yeah. But it's the whole way things have changed and the streaming, it's made it harder for musicians. I think it's very frustrating because making a CD is an expensive thing. Going into the studio is expensive, and then to basically do all that, and then the music is just out there for free. It can be a little discouraging.
Yeah. Well, very good, John. Just go for me too. I spent this whole season to figure out how to get the monetization a lot greater, like you say, because I performed and I had DVDs, from other performances and perform well, and like you said, they buy. Now we have to be a little more creative in our craft, like you said, T-shirts, but like you say, you will hope that ticket has been sold, or me personally, I do a contract, John, and then say, okay, get me there, put me up, and allow me to sell product at the same time. It depends on if it's in the church or club. Then I find out, I ask the capacity, okay, kind of give me a ballpark figure, because we all need to make a profit. Okay, and as you say, you drive around, my suggestion to you is to create a contract. You write the contract, so you're in control. Okay, you are in control because you're getting it in your car, your RV, you're traveling. Like you said, it takes 6 hours to get out of Texas based on where you're going. So, from Austin to Dallas, that's really a 3-hour trip, 3.5-hour trip. So you add that in there, and what I charge I drive nowhere past 100 miles. Okay, if it's 100 miles, I drive. If it's past 100, I fly. So you have to sit down and find ways to create monetization that's going to work for you. Hey, get me there, put me up, allow me to perform and sell products. You get me there, put me up, and then can you guarantee 50 people to 60 people to buy my product? Boom, $10, $12, $13, $15. There you go, your profit. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so very good on that. Very good. And it's important. It's very important that, okay, all right, guys, we're coming out this pandemic. Technically, there's no more freebie because we've been stuck and been waiting and pay, I play. If you ain't going to pay, then I'm not coming. So we have to. That's it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
No pay, no play.
No pay, no play. There you
go. What I like.
I don't know how if you ever get to the East Coast, but that's another reason why. I just think my music will go over well there. But also, I'm excited because the East Coast. It's so there's so many cities up and down the East Coast.
Oh yes,
you can play and you drive 30 minutes and you're in a different city where you can play.
Exactly, because it's designed, it's built like. Name a state on the East Coast that we're going to, and I'll explain to you.
Yeah, well, say let's Virginia, for example.
Oh,
or
yeah.
even North Carolina, or
Virginia.
Massachusetts.
Yes, if you're in Virginia, they go D.C. and Baltimore right there. Okay?
That's right.
So.
And in Texas, like you said, you're in Austin. It's 3.5 hours to get to Dallas, and that's not even a different state. So. So that's another important, I think, element that we have to think about now.
Right.
Is really like being more efficient in our touring, and where we can make it easier on ourselves and more profitable that way.
Right. I tell a lot of music artists, go online and like wherever you're trying to go, research the cities, the state, the club, check out their videos, look at, if they can, look at the live entertainment, and then look at your craft, your gift, your music, and ask yourself, does my music or will my music fit in this market.
Exactly.
And once you believe that it can, and then your presentation should be very easy, less talking, and then let them send the work to them through their email, and then try to figure out the negotiation, the monetization, and the best way you can. So very good.
And
very
how
good.
how lucky are we in this day and age with the internet and things like that? Because, like you said, now if I learn about a gig, a venue that might be a good fit for me in Virginia, I can look it up online. I can see pictures. Like you said, I can see videos. I can tell if it's going to be a good fit for me or not.
Yes, there you go.
I can't imagine doing this 30 years ago when I couldn't see what I was getting into.
Yes.
And so we're very lucky that way.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to sum up what you've been listening to. John has said when he was a young man, a kid, that he was into sports, playing tennis, but he would play all day long because something that he enjoyed doing. When he was a kid, ladies and gentlemen, he did not realize that his energy level was developing and making preparation for transition. Not that he didn't know exactly what he wanted to do. As he went to college, he took the same energy when he went to Clemson in college, playing tennis. But somehow, John thought one way, but God had closed the door and then opened another door for him to peep and take a couple of steps and introduce him to music. As John continues to groom, he started liking it, ladies and gentlemen. He started feeling it. He started writing. He started singing. How was he able to do that? Because his energy level as a kid playing all day was developing for the future right along with his faith. Something that he enjoyed doing, and he believing that it will go well because God was in it the whole time.
Yes.
You like that, John?
Yes, and that you bring up such a good point, and that's so true. It's something I'd never even really thought about. So you just said it right now, but tennis or any sport, but tennis, I was very disciplined in that. I worked hard at it. I was, hours taking lessons, and I just learned the discipline in trying to become good at something. And because I had that experience, I was able to apply it to music and use that same consistency and discipline and work ethic in music as well. So it really did pay off. And my experience with a sport translated very well to being committed to music.
Yes. Before we let you go, I'm going to close on one of your songs, but I'm going to let Boo Dan get a couple of questions in, and then John come on in, and anything you want to promote, how people can contact if they want to book you. But Boo Dan, go ahead and ask him a couple of questions, then we're going to let John, grab the mic.
Well, from what I'm hearing, you're a one-man show?
That's right, yes.
Wow. Well, now let me ask you another question. How long you plan on doing this before you retire from it?
That is such a good question, because I sort of thought about that myself too. I don't have any, date set. But I have thought, there's going to come a time when this is going to get tougher, as I get older, in terms of, moving the equipment, setting up the equipment,
right?
Driving around and doing these things. It's one thing to do that when you're young, and it's getting harder as I'm getting older. And I can't imagine myself really being 70 and still doing this. I mean, maybe, but it's sort of hard to imagine. I did sort of set a goal for myself. You'll like this answer. I did sort of set a goal for myself that like at 60, when I turned 60s, I was going to take a pause or not take a pause, but sort of take a step back and see how things were going and sort of reevaluate.
Right.
That makes sense.
Right.
And and sort of wonder if things weren't going well at 60, I was thinking, maybe that's a clue to like, I don't know, do something else or just scale it back or something. But 60's coming up real fast.
Right.
Yeah, as you get older, time starts to move faster, and the years are flying by. And 60 is right around the corner. I mean, it's not right around the corner, but it's going to come faster than I expected. And so now I'm thinking maybe I need to move that to maybe 65. Because 60 is going to get here pretty soon, and I don't think I'm going to be ready to. Give up. I want to keep going. I think past 60. So maybe 65 now. I will reevaluate, but I really don't know. And but as long what I like about music so much is I feel like I can always get better, no matter what my age is.
Mm-hmm.
And I can still get better as a songwriter. I can still get better as a musician. And I can still get better as a performer. And as long as I feel I can still get better, that's what really keeps me motivated to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so I think that, that's going to be a big part of it too. Is if I feel like I'm still improving, I want to keep doing it because I just want to get as good as I can be. I just want to reach my potential.
Okay, very good. Tell everyone how they can reach you if they want to book you, follow you on social media. The mic is here. Go right ahead.
All right, thank you. So I did this actually just recently because my name is a mouthful and it is sort of hard to spell. And so I am on Facebook. I have a great website. I'm on Instagram. I'm on YouTube, everywhere. But if you go to Twitter, I set up a Twitter account, and it's simply John M. Live. So JOHNM Live. And if you find me there, the very first tweet, I have links to all those things that I just talked about. And so it's an easy way to find me. And then once you get there, you can choose if you want to follow me on my website or follow me on Facebook or follow me on Instagram, however you choose. All those links are right there on the first link. So that's really the best way to do it. So please go to John, JOHNM Live. And you can, like I said, choose whatever platform you want to follow me on from there.
Okay.
Okay, very good.
And please, my new CD is called Second Chances, and like I said, it's an acoustic CD, and I'm so excited about it. I think it came out better than I'd hoped or expected, and the reviews have been excellent, and so please go check it out because I'm very proud of it, and I'm really excited to share it with everyone.
Wow. Wow. I gave you my word, but we'll play one of the songs from the album. He's speaking Second Chances. And you are listening to your host, Comedian Edwin Douglas. That's who I am. Right along with my DJ sidekick, Uncle Ben, and of course, our special guest co-host, the one and only Boudin Man. And John, thank you for joining us. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to play one of his songs right here on Your Mic and Soul radio talk show. And guys, support him, please.
My chair, rub my hair back, mouth, touching the sky. She looks at me with her cold on hair. The voice sing out, take me home in the red ride. Hold us tight. This is the place where I belong. It's a feeling I've never known. The heavens speak to me in the breeze. One day when I'm gone, my words over written in stone. And the world outside is crumbling. Our brothers shipping off the war. I'll sing for you about the peace I feel when I'm lying. My lady friends all around me, we're cheering for the stars. This is the place where I belong. It's a feeling I've never known. The heavens speak to me in the breeze. One day when I'm gone, my words will be written in stone. Not do anything to fly like the eagle above me. I'd give anything to feel that free. I'd do anything to get a little closer to the sun, be as alive as I can be. I'd do anything to get a little closer to the sun and be as alive as I can be. This is the place where I belong. It's a feeling I've never known. The heavens speak to me in the breeze. And one day when I'm gone, my words will be written in stone.
Uncle Bill, this is the place where I belong on your mic and soul radio talk show. Peace and may God bless you, Uncle Bill.
Same to you.